What's up, everybody listening on their radios? Welcome to Sports, Politics, and More, live from New York City. I am your host, Andrew Pollack, joined as always by the wonderful Frank Todaro. Good evening, Frank.
What's up, Andrew? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. I mean, I observed Rosh Hashanah last week, so that's why I wasn't on the air, of course.
I hear you. Andrew, last week, I don't know if you know, we had problems with getting on the air.
Wait, you were trying to do the show solo last week, right?
Yeah, I did the show solo, but I broadcast for an hour, and then only after the fact, I found out that
I have a funny story how I found out that you weren't live on the radio.
I know.
No. I was in Food Lion, right? It's the supermarket in Maryland. So I'm in the supermarket, and all of a sudden I'm checking my text, and our old host Nick Durst is texting me, and I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's how I found out. Also, well, you told me. You told me that.
I told you after 9 o'clock when I was heading back to my condo.
Yeah. All right. So do this. Go on the. Can you go on the UCY chat on the UCY and see if we're on the air?
We're on the air. I heard our intro.
You heard the intro, but I'll be talking because last week that was the problem. The intro came on, but no sound.
I could check right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Every week is an adventure with this because I'll tell the audience if we are on the air what the problem was. Skype issued a new update, a new version of Skype, and it was a forced mandatory to download it, and I did. And 2 weeks ago, I had no problem with me and Andrew, but for some reason it stood on my computer. And last week I mistakenly used the old Skype, and now I'm using the new Skype. I could see the new features, and now let's see if it's going to cause Andrew to disappear.
Yeah, we're on the air.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, and Nick was making me laugh because he always says that this should be called technical difficulties. The show, but it's tough. It's a Skype. I don't know why. I have so many. I spoke to Jules, and that's what I want to mention. She got in touch with me early Thursday morning. I was still up studying, and I had a nice conversation with her on Skype, and I explained to her actually. And then what I did was, thank God, about 3 a.m. while I was studying, something told me to re-record the show, so I did that on my own, and then I kept the file, and then once she got in touch with me, I sent her the file on Skype, and she so nicely uploaded it to YouTube.
Well, that's very good, considering how at least I heard last week's show, and it was interesting.
Yeah. I broke that, and I did for the first half hour. I did more of a UCY friendly theme show. No, but listen, that was something I wanted to talk about. Listen, solo. I don't know. For 1 week, it's tough. That's what we have. Me and Andrew have. We have a nice little chemistry going back and forth. And this show, as I explained many times, we talk about serious stuff, but it's always we try to make it funny and entertaining, and give everybody a break from the seriousness. Even though we are talking about serious stuff, we try to put a little levity into the show, into the news and current events and stuff going on. But so last week's show, it was all about. I wanted to do some investigative reporting, and I wanted to explain what the deep state is and what the shadow government is and what's the difference. So, and then I used a few clips from movies and stuff like that. But did you hear it, Andrew? Did you hear the show last week?
It definitely sounded like a normal show you would hear on a radio station, of course. No, right. I said it sounded like a normal UCY.
Well,
where they go underneath the headline.
Right. But I used a couple clips from movies and stuff from a movie. Right. But and then I read the news, but I had to read the news by myself, and it's tough for what we do, me and you do. You read the news, and it's fun. Like I said, that's how chemistry. You read the news, and then I comment, and and that's where we have a little fun on it. But it went okay. It went okay. But anyway, so you what's so funny?
Because it sounds like you're depressed when I'm not on the radio.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Well, yeah, I am because I told you I like doing this with Andrew. Again, it's just to do this for an hour a week. It's good. You have to share an hour a week with somebody, and me and you have chemistry. And if I had to do it solo,
we definitely have a lot of chemistry.
Yes, if I had to do it solo, I would. Whatever. I don't know. But it's much. I think doing it with a partner. I think it's easy. It's an off night. But
right.
So now what were you saying before, Andrew? Now last week you were off because of the holidays, Jewish holidays, and explain to our non-Jewish audience what exactly what were the holidays last week.
Well, it was only one holiday, and it was Rosh Hashanah, and I get
what's that? That's the creation of Adam and Eve.
That I do not know, but I know
you don't know what you're celebrating.
All I know is that it's Jewish New Year, and it also means because I work at a Jewish hospital, I get the week off.
That's it. That's all. I believe Rosh Hashanah is the anniversary of the. Oh no, it's the first. Oh yeah, right. Okay, it says it's the first. It's a celebration which begins on the first day of Tishri. Tishri is the first month of the Jewish Civil Year, and in the Jewish calendar, it's like about 5,700 something like that.
5778.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, of course the Roman calendar is 2017. So wait,
that's the calendar I've always used.
Yeah, well, that's the modern world uses the Roman calendar. So wait, so what'd you say the Jewish calendar is?
It's 5778 in the current Jewish calendar.
Okay, so 2,000 years ago, 2017 years ago, I guess the world stopped using the Jewish calendar and went to the Roman calendar. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So have you? So what else? What else did you do? Did you eat anything?
Oh, I had a lot of ribs.
You did?
Yes.
Ribs.
I love ribs.
You ate pork? Pork ribs or beef ribs?
I think they were pork ribs.
Okay. So, yeah, well, it's a good thing you're not Muslim. Oh, by the way, do you know why? Do you know why all these religions always consider pork to be filthy and all that stuff?
Because of the pig. I don't care about that.
No, but I know. You know what it is? Because back in ancient times, people didn't know that they had to cook pork very well, so they always got sick from eating pork because of parasites. That's why. So they always associated getting sick that the pig was bad to eat. That's what it is. Because you have to cook pork very well because there could be worms in there and stuff like that.
Oh, I had turkey tonight.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, let's get going a little bit.
Yes, I was going to transition. We have to talk about the unfortunate main story that's been grabbing the headlines since last week, and that is President Donald Trump's problem with the NFL.
Yeah. Well, it's not. He doesn't have a problem with the NFL. He just commented on what's going on with the NFL, and I last night I texted Andrew. And I told you that, I almost forgot about this, that Trump, back in the mid-'80s, actually owned a team.
Ran a football league, yes.
Well, no, he didn't run a football league. There was an alternative football league that sprouted called the USFL, and Trump owned one of the teams, one of the franchises called the New Jersey Generals, which was at the time, even though that's when I was still a young kid, a baby. I just followed sports. I still remember all the older guys and men talking about the Generals. It was one of the most popular teams in the USFL, and he had he signed he signed stars that would from the NFL and stars that would go on to be in the NFL. So I mean, maybe that's why he commented, but no, it's all about he's just basically commenting about. Not disrespecting the flag. This whole thing is stupid. I think it's stupid. It's all about conformity. what are these plays? What's the point of all this? Anyway.
I don't know. I just wish the politics wouldn't get involved in sports.
Well, yeah, and then they say Trump is dividing the country. No, Trump is not kneeling on this. Trump is commenting on what he's seeing. He didn't tell the players. And then first it was about Colin Kaepernick last year. Last year about Black Lives Matter.
They even made a South Park episode about that.
Yeah, and it's all crap. Listen, Colin Kaepernick, he's a big phony. From what I read, this is all now. Ever since he started dating this his new girlfriend, who happens to be Muslim, whatever. She's, I guess, radicalized, whatever. And she started all this. He's not that good, and all this crap about him.
Well, he has a 74 rating on Madden 18. I know that.
Yes. Yeah. All this talk about him getting blacklisted, no pun intended. It's bullcrap because I read a month ago, that he actually was offered a contract, but he was offered a contract to be a backup quarterback, and he turned it down.
Yeah, on the Ravens.
Yeah, he wants to be a starter, and he's not a starter, and it's not because he's black. So why? It's because he's black, or why? Because he's protesting? That's a bunch of crap, and it's just a bunch of crap. Anyway, let's. You missed last week. We missed your pick, so we'll consider that a bye week for you, Andrew.
That's fair. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm not going back to Maryland until November, from what my schedule looks like.
Okay, so whatever. You'll get your bye, but week 2, week 1 you went 1-4, and week 2 you went 4-1 on your picks. So and are you starting to get the hang of it of the spread?
Pretty much, I'm getting the hang of it.
Okay, well. We'll skip. We're gonna skip a little bit. We'll go to your picks, and then we'll pick back up. But so last week you picked all your favorites, all favorites, and now and you went 4-1, so that brings your record to 4-4. So we're gonna start Andy's 2-minute warning. Are you ready Are you ready to give out your picks?
Yes, Frank, I'm ready. Okay, it's week 4 of the NFL. Oh my goodness! Right.
And wait a minute, man. Now I don't know. I feel a little weird doing this segment now, Andrew, because with all this NFL controversy.
You feel weird doing this?
Yeah, I don't know. Should we? I guess we're not boycotting the NFL, right?
No, but I was just going to quickly mention that the game of the week obviously will be 1 o'clock. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I understand the Ravens got creamed in London last week by Jacksonville, but I don't care. I'm giving the Ravens -2 points. Now,
hold on. No, the spread is -1, Andrew.
I don't care. I'm giving them -2.
Well, what do you mean? No. What does that mean? The spread is -1. That means they have to win by 2 points.
Fine, Ravens -1.
Yeah, that means they have to win by 2 points. Why? Okay. If you -2, you're handicapping yourself more. So the Ravens -1. Okay.
All right, All right, 1 point for the Steelers and the Ravens on Sunday. Now on to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm giving them -6 to beat the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. I'm going to pick the New York Giants -6, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I could care less about the Giants losing to a field goal last week. I am taking the Tennessee Titans -1 point to beat the Houston Texans, and I'm going to pick another closely contested game, the Oakland Raiders -2 to beat the Denver Broncos.
All right, so that means you're taking all the favorites. So that means they have to win.
Yes, I'm definitely doing that.
So anyway, yeah. So speaking of that game with the Ravens in England, that was so stupid. I don't know if you saw that.
Let me say something. I was in. Everybody knows where my condo was, Ocean City, Maryland. So I have Comcast. And the crazy thing is, I was able to get the Baltimore affiliate of CBS because it's on my system.
Really?
The Salisbury affiliate, which is 30 minutes away from my condo, they said, "Oh, we can't show the game. We're blacking it out." So I was in my bedroom, and I couldn't even get the game in high def. So I figured, screw it, I'll just watch it on the Yahoo stick. And that was an awful game.
Oh, so they blacked it out. No, but the whole point was that the Ravens players, I believe, they kneeled for the American national anthem, and then right after that, they stood up for the Queen of England. God save the Queen.
And you know what's even crazy? We have another London game on Sunday when New Orleans is playing Miami on Fox.
Yeah, but my point is, if this whole kneeling thing is for the because they're saying that black people are oppressed, that's who started the slavery in America was the Queen or the King at the time. They're so stupid. The American flag and anthem represents the freedom of the British rule. I don't know. Anyway,
everything is so hypocritical these days.
No, it's not hypocritical. No, there's no logic. Everything is upside down. Nobody's history. Nobody reads history. The internet, I think, like I said, I always say, maybe I say this once a week. As good as the internet could be, it's also bad because there's so much information and people are confused. But
that's
anyway,
the problem. They don't want to look up their facts.
Yeah, nobody searches anything. But the thing is, and we'll start. By the way, 8:15. We're a little over time. 8:15. We're going to do the roundup of the weekly roundup of ESPN at 8:30.
Yes, we have to talk about Lawrence O'Donnell. That was ridiculous what he did last week.
Funny. But no, the NFL. Just I'll leave it off with this. Freedom of speech is only for the public sector, not the private sector. The NFL is a private sector, even though they do get government subsidies and taxpayer money. But no, there is no freedom of speech in the NFL. Those are employees, and if they do or say something that causes harm to the team or business for the NFL, they could be subject to discipline. So I don't know.
I heard there was a rule that if you don't stand for the national anthem, there are consequences.
No,
and
from what
I've heard, Roger Goodell is not enforcing it.
The rule is they're supposed to be on the field for the playing of the national anthem.
Yeah, but there were 3 teams that didn't come out.
Yeah. Well, listen. Right now, all these people are. All these people right now are everybody's scared to criticize. They're scared to criticize or say anything, and I don't know. It's just a shame. But I made a comment of this last night that kneeling is actually a form of submission. It's not a form of protest.
So what you're saying is it's nothing to do with protesting.
I don't know, but yeah, and just like the movie, maybe Superman will save us.
Thank you. I'm the president. I'll kneel before you if it will save lives.
It will. Starting with your own.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this from Superman 2?
What I do now, I do for the sake of the people of the world. But there is one man here on earth who will never kneel before you.
Who is this imbecile? Where is he?
I wish I knew. God.
It's Zod. And of course, Superman can't save us now because now Superman became a social justice warrior.
Yes, he became an SJW.
Yeah, now, Superman is saving illegal aliens who are crossing the border.
You know who's even an SJW who proved himself that? The hater hobo. Basically, this guy in Manhattan who had the sign that says, fuck you, pay me, and whatever it says. And basically, he was arrested a couple days ago for vandalizing a Christopher Columbus statue.
Yeah. Andrew posted on, he took video of this infamous hobo in Times Square who just, he looks
I know him very well.
He looks like a mentally deranged homeless guy.
Yes, he does.
And he is. So this idiot went to Columbus Circle and scaled the 76-foot statue of Columbus, and he painted Columbus's hands red. He's such a hero.
I don't think of him as a hero. I think of him as somebody who's just desperate for attention.
He's deranged.
And he's doing it. And I think that he's doing it the wrong way.
Yeah. So anyway, he's another soldier listener. So anyway, real quick, that was pretty funny. Lawrence O'Donnell he's a MSNBC anchor. I guess they leaked footage of his meltdown. It was reminiscent of Bill O'Reilly from the 90s. And I'll play it a little bit.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it? Where's the hammer? Is it on go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering. Stop the hammering. I'll go down to the goddamn floor myself and stop it. Keep the goddamn commercial break going. Call fucking Phil Griffin. I don't care who the fuck you have to call. Stop the hammering.
This guy, I don't know what this guy, he was having a meltdown. And what's shocking, it's because, when he's on air, he's so nice and he's so calm, but that's how he acts. And this guy must be a terror to work for. Like he was terrorized.
I would be very scared to work with this guy. I would be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This guy, he's not such a nice guy, and you could hear him. One thing was that you heard him say about he wanted them to cut words from the report because it doesn't fit the narrative. See, they cut and cherry pick stuff so it fits their narrative. That's why they're fake news.
That's why it is fake news, and that's why, again, the liberal media will never shut up.
And nobody, God forbid, ever goes and researches it. But this was and I joked around that the source of the hammering came from Hillary.
Hang on, Evan Perez. Hammers, fact check that for me, please, on the fly.
Yes, they did, Brooke. As you mentioned, there were 13 devices, mobile devices, and 5 iPads that the FBI said that, in some way were used with her private email server, and they did, in some cases, just destroy them with hammers when they were done using them. That's a pretty good way of just...
Look, you hear him, how you hear that guy from CNN, how he's so hesitant, like it pains him to actually admit the truth.
It does. What's wrong with these guys? Just stop it already. Stop it.
The hammering. Stop the hammering. Where's the hammering coming?
Stop the hammering. Stop.
It's Hillary. It's Hillary and her staff. They were working upstairs and they were breaking phones.
Golly. What else? Why were they breaking phones?
You don't remember why they to destroy the evidence? What, are you crazy or something?
Oh, you need to get rid of Anthony Weiner's photos.
Yeah. Oh, the photos, everything, evidence. They destroyed. She uses she preferred to use a BlackBerry, which is kind of an old phone. But come on,
who uses a BlackBerry anymore?
I don't know. Some people still do. It's some people are comfortable with it, but I don't know. It's crazy.
BlackBerry.
Yeah. Listen. Those were like the original. Those are like the original iPhones when cell phones first came out. Like the BlackBerry was like the most advanced phone. Like I remember the BlackBerry when it first came out. That was the first phone that cost like $400. And this is back
now. This phone is like $1,000.
Yeah. What is it now? The iPhone 8.
The iPhone X.
Oh, what is it, iPhone 10?
I think that's what they call it.
Oh boy! Do people really need that phone?
I don't.
Well, I never owned an iPhone. What does it do? It's like a small computer that you can carry around with you all the time.
Why? What phone do you have?
I have a cheap LG phone. My phone costs $35.
Wait, is it an Android?
Yeah.
So is mine. I have an LG as well.
Yeah, I don't need. What do I need? All I need is maybe to text a little bit and as an emergency to call someone. That's all. But I don't use my phone to play games or download stuff.
Well, I watch videos on it.
Yeah, but anyway, so getting back to this NFL controversy now. Now, of course, with the NBA season looming along, now of course, that's going to have the NBA players are going to start doing that. But I don't think they're definitely not allowed to do it because it's definitely stated in their contract, in the CBA contract for the collective bargaining agreement, that they have to stand. I remember in the 90s there was a player, Mahmoud Rauf, that was his name. He changed his name from Chris Jackson. He was a real good player. And one time, I think it was during the original Desert Storm, he didn't stand up and he got fined.
Oh.
So now, of course, we got LeBron.
Well, again, I'm afraid of the NBA now getting in this situation.
No, yeah, because now everybody's now. See, this is the disease. It's the politicalization of everything. And it's got to stop, It's not good.
Oh, no question. I agree.
People watch sports to get away from politics. It's to separate. It's to separate politics. It's to get a break. And now you got to now LeBron. He he throws his 2 cents in there, and gives his opinion. And he tweeted last week towards the president Trump. Of course, you can't like Trump because that's illegal. That'll get you unpopular if you come out and support President Trump.
Well, it is controversial, and again, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I'm just a guy who is rooting against the fake news.
Yeah, me too. Well, listen. Listen, would you rather have had Hillary as president?
Then there'd be a mass shooting every couple minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. At least, thank God, with Trump, we have Trump. And what's Trump done that's so bad? What has Trump done that's affected people's lives?
Honestly, nothing to my knowledge.
Nothing. Since last November, what has happened that people's lives are so much worse? Nothing. It's just hysteria. It's hysteria, and course,
I think the media makes it worse.
I think Hillary and whoever she works for, or I think they have bought off everybody and everything in the media in Washington. Of course, LeBron last year. Remember him? He was campaigning for Hillary.
I remember that very well.
Yeah. Hillary's one of the biggest racists, and her husband. They're they're like two of the biggest racists on.
Because they basically were targeting minorities for votes.
Yeah, no shit. They're pandering for LeBron. They get LeBron, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. They pay these people, and they pay them not just for that moment. It's. I'm sure they sign a little contract with them that says they have to talk about them good all the time. Whenever they asked. They can.
And probably they're going to get behind the next liberal who runs for president in the 3 years.
Well, if they get paid. But even I know, I even though I don't watch The View, but I follow stories on the. I follow stories on online, and I think it was last week when Hillary was on The View.
Oh, that was a headache.
I didn't watch, but one of the hosts, she actually had the audacity. And this was funny because the night before on Twitter, The View was promoting Hillary's appearance. And they said, no question or topic is off limits, to which I laughed. And then, sure enough, the next day, one of the hosts suggested that maybe Hillary was tone deaf, and maybe that might have harmed her a presidential win. And of course, 2 days later, the host of that host who said that she quote unquote resigned 2 weeks into her new contract. Are you kidding me? She got fired. You see, that Hillary is the tyrant. Hillary is unbelievable.
I don't know how in the world could I have lived myself if she became the president.
Yeah. It would have been at least another 4 years of ass licking. Everybody on TV and all reporters would have had to lick her ass. She's the true tyrant. She's the true authoritarian, not Trump.
You know who would have had a heart attack by now? Michael Savage.
Yeah, well, he's having a heart attack now because he thinks Trump is not is selling out. But no, that's an authoritarian. That's a dictator when you can't speak bad about them. Trump is anything but a tyrant or authoritarian. It's fashionable right now in our culture to talk bad about him and make fun of him. So that's a whole bunch of crap. But anyway, yeah, LeBron James, he tweeted and he called the president a bum. Of course, so he's not my friend. He said he made sure to say that because he said the reporters were like, "Do you think that was like a little too far?" And he's like, "No, that's not really name calling. Me and my friends call each other that." But he's like, "Oh, by the way, make no mistake, Trump's not my friend. He's not my friend." You see how he had to stress that. And it's
all right. So we have to read the news now.
Yeah,
and
we're getting a little. Along the tooth, but that's okay. We could do that. We don't have to read every article.
Right.
Anyway, we're a little late. Okay, Andrew, you're right. So it's 8:33, and Andrew, go ahead. You start the news.
All right. So let's read about how President Trump talked about his tax reform today at a press conference in Indiana, and he was talking about the congressional Republicans were considering an income tax surcharge on the wealthy and doubling the standard deduction given to most Americans, with the Republican Party under pressure to overhaul the tax code after the collapse of the Graham-Cassidy bill. On the eve of the grand rollout of the plan, details emerged on Capitol Hill yesterday, while President Trump personally appealed to House Republicans and Democrats and the White House to get behind his proposal. He was quoted saying, "We will cut taxes tremendously for the middle class. Not just a little bit tremendously," Trump said as he's met with his members of the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee.
He said huge tax breaks, huge tax relief. Unbelievable taxes will cut from the middle class. Huge tax breaks.
Basically, it's 3 percentages now in this country.
I can't hear you.
I said it's going to be 3 percentage brackets now for the tax code. That's what he wants to do.
Right. But the
and he also wants to lower the corporate tax rate from 35% to 20%.
See, that's good. That's good. But the thing is, the wealthy pay the most taxes. But the wealthy people don't understand. People always talk about the 1% and
1%.
Yeah, but it's the 1% are the ones that create the jobs. The wealthy are the ones that create the jobs in the country.
Yeah, but here we go. The current top rate for individuals who are earning more than $418,000 a year is 39.6%.
Oh, so 40% basically.
Basically.
So if you make $1 million, you have to pay $400,000 in taxes. So if you get paid, if you receive a check for $1 million, you have to pay your check net is $600,000, which is still a lot of money, but that $400,000 is a lot of money.
And a lot of money you could buy a Bugatti with.
Yes, Bugatti.
All right. So now that that's basically over with, we will talk about Graham Cassidy and how it basically failed. So before I read this, the reason why it failed was because 4 United States senators, Susan Collins from Maine, John McCain from Arizona, Ted Cruz from Texas, and strong conservative Rand Paul from Kentucky, were all against this bill.
Well, hold on. Well, Rand Paul, he was real adamant about this proposed bill because he said it was Obamacare light, and it didn't cut the taxes. Rand Paul is not against repealing and replacing Obamacare. He just didn't like this bill. He thought this bill was a little fugazi, but McCain is the one who I think he just votes no matter what. That's what I think, because if you go on if you look it up, for the last 10 years, you could find speeches of McCain giving speeches about repealing and replacing Obamacare. So I think this old coot, who's got a foot in the grave, he's just sour, and he just wants to whatever, no matter what, he's gonna give the no vote, because a yes vote would make Trump look good.
Oh, it's his ego.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
No, that's what it is. It's anything but Trump. So if he does, he will do nothing to make Trump look good. He's putting bipartisan interest.
He's putting his 2 cents in.
No, he's putting politics ahead of the interests of the American people. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us, Andrew. Tell us.
All right. So the Senate Republicans were 4 votes shy. Well, 2, basically short of votes. They abandoned their latest and possibly final attempt to kill the health care law yesterday, just ahead of a critical end of the week deadline.
Yeah, so pretty much it's over. At least for this year, it's over.
The repeal and replace bill's author promised to try again at a later date, while President Trump rallied against certain so-called Republicans who opposed the GOP's effort. But for now, Trump and his fellow Republicans, who vowed for 7 years to abolish Obama's law, will leave it standing and turn their attention to overhauling the nation's tax code instead.
Right, that's exactly what I just said. They've been rallying against repealing and replacing, but now because Trump won, it would make Trump look too good.
The GOP predicament was summoned up by Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana and, more importantly, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. Those events are under the control and not under our control. We don't have the votes, said President Trump. Is he disappointed? The president was quoted saying, yes, absolutely.
Now, and see, that's another thing. All this hysteria about Trump, he was going to be a dictator, a tyrant. That just shows you the president's powers are limited. Now, of course, Obama, he did pretty much illegal things by signing executive orders without permission from Congress. So
Trump did that too.
Well, no, not really, because if he could sign an executive order that would suspend Obamacare, but he doesn't, because that would be illegal.
Well, didn't he sign an executive order getting rid of the part of Obamacare where you have, by law, have to get insurance?
Right. That's the tax law. That means you're not going to. He wants to. That means if you don't pick Obamacare, you won't get fined. Some people are getting fined thousands of dollars for not signing up for Obamacare.
Well, they were forced to do it because of Obama.
Right.
And Obama had these crazy liberal lawyers vouching for him.
Because Obamacare is nothing but a Ponzi scheme. It's just a Ponzi scheme. Well,
not necessarily. You know who also was part of this push by the liberal Democrats, and that was the former Speaker of the House, and that was Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. She's the one who famously said that we have to pass the bill in order to see what's in it. I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
And when she said that, I was irritated.
Yeah, because that that tells you right there. They show their hand that they think the American people are so stupid, and it's true. There was the guy, Jonathan Gruber, who he was an MIT professor who was the architect of Obamacare, and he got caught on video, and he had to testify before Congress about how he
Remember what Trump said, the big lie, Obamacare.
Yeah. That Jonathan Gruber, he got caught, who was the architect of Obamacare. He had to testify in front of Congress that he was caught on tape calling the American voter too stupid to understand Obamacare, and basically that they're getting ripped off. But we digress. Go ahead, continue.
All right. Pretty much that's the end of the story.
It is?
Pretty much.
Okay, so good. Go on to the next story.
Yeah, because again, we don't need to continue talking about it. All right, so the FBI director said that terrorist drones are coming here imminently. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, warned Congress today that terrorist groups are looking to use drones to wage attacks in the United States mainland. Here's what Wray said today at a hearing. I think we do know that the terrorist organizations have an interest in using drones. We've seen that overseas already with growing frequency. I think the expectation is that it's coming here imminently. I think they are relatively easy to acquire, relatively easy to operate, and quite difficult to disrupt and monitor.
Yeah, anybody could go buy a little drone, and all you have to do is attach a little explosive device and drop it over a target.
By the way, my parents said I'm not allowed to have a drone.
Nah, well, you don't need a drone. What do you need a drone for?
I used to have this desire to have one, but then
what? That's like when I was a kid. That was like a remote controlled helicopter or plane. I remember flying. My cousins going to a golf.
Hear me out. My parents said that if I got it, they wouldn't get me the PS4 I got last year.
Oh, so you have to. Why don't you? So why? So if you buy it with your own money, you can't have a drone.
Basically.
Oh my God! Are you gonna give your drone a name, Andrew? like the Matt Hardy, the wrestler, Vanguard 1.
That's not a bad idea.
But listen, these drones. This is going to be with these drones. This is going to be. They're going to have to start passing laws. We already seen. There was a video footage of a drone.
That's another reason why I don't want one now.
Yeah, drones that collide with airplanes. And Amazon last year, I think just a few months ago, they got permission now that they're going to start. They already have started deliveries using drones. That's their plan. They want to have a big, huge blimp floating over cities, and then drones will be released from blimps to deliver packages to the addresses instantly within 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So if you go online and you buy something from Amazon, within 10-15 minutes, a drone will fly up to your window or lawn and drop the package.
And then we can say goodbye to UPS.
Oh, but that's going to happen. Yeah, that's on the way.
And again, we support the unions that.
Well, maybe UPS is gonna get into the drone business.
Well, maybe.
I'm sure they will. But the problem with this is these drones are run. They have to regulate these drones. They have to track these drones because when you're expecting a delivery package, let's say you ordered your PS4, and then you go to open it and it explodes and blows you.
I would be very afraid if my PS4 that was brand new somehow was dropped.
Yes, so a drone drops a bomb on your house, but you get the idea. So this is very very touchy, very touchy. So is that it for these drones? Is that it?
I've had enough talking about drones now. All right, so we're going to talk about a writer of a fake news regarding the presidential election last year found dead. He was He was 38 years old, and he was found dead outside of Phoenix.
This, by the way, this guy, I never heard of him, but this is definitely you could add another body count to Hillary Clinton. This guy, from what I understand, he wrote several news stories. I never heard of this guy.
Me either, never did.
This guy, I'll tell you exactly. Before Andrew even reads the story, I'll tell you, this guy probably hung out on 4chan, which is a internet site, and probably posted stories that went viral or something, and Hillary took him out.
Did he write the Pizzagate story?
I don't know. But see, now they can attribute anything to him. But go ahead, read. Tell us.
Oh boy! All right. So basically, they said that he was discovered on his bed, dead, on September 18th. So that was last Monday.
Yeah, but this story just came out now.
Yes. So Mark Casey said that the Maricopa County Medical Examiner performed the autopsy, which showed there were no signs of foul play.
Of course not.
He said that Horner had a history of prescription drug abuse, and the evidence at the scene suggested that this could be an accidental overdose.
Oh, of course, the famous empty pill bottle
with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the empty pill bottle. Marilyn Monroe, she was found that way. The empty pill bottle on her dresser. Go ahead.
All right. Horner was known for writing fake news stories, and this minting internet hoax. Disseminating, my bad. Disseminating internet hoaxes that often went viral on Facebook and hoodwinked thousands of people. They included a story falsely claiming that former President Obama was gay and a radical Muslim, and
I don't know.
Saying
Is that a fake story?
It is fake news.
Oh, how do you know?
First of all, Barack has Michelle.
So what does that mean?
You don't need to get into that.
So what does that mean? A gay man that was never married before, and he's not a radical Muslim.
Well, maybe he was.
And the
you
guy
don't know that.
The guy never mentioned. He never in 8 years uttered the words radical Islamic terrorism.
Yes. You know what's even more crazy? I was hoping the last day that he was in office that he would finally admit he's a Muslim, and he never did.
By the way, hold on, pause this, because I just remembered. And, I didn't include this, but did you hear about that story about the black guy who shot up the white church?
I actually did hear about that.
But you didn't. But you actually did hear it, but nobody. You didn't. But the news didn't make a big deal of it, right?
You know what's crazy? I will agree with you. It was a shooting. It was a shooting.
Yeah, just like a couple years ago.
You know what's crazy? I was at Golden Corral on I think it was Monday. Yeah, I was at Golden Corral on Monday in Salisbury, Maryland, and they had Fox News on, and I saw that I think it was Shepard Smith, right? So anyhow, there's this black guy on with Shepard Smith, and he's saying, "How come we're the only news outlet covering this?"
Yeah. Wasn't it last year that guy Dylan Roof, he shot up the black church in what was it, Virginia?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, remember? We had the pray for Virginia or whatever the hell it was.
And Obama saying "Amazing Grace." I remember that.
Yeah, and they called for gun control. Now, see, don't you stop blaming radical Islamic terrorism. The real terrorists are white terrorists in the United States. But then this guy, who is he was a student. He was from Sudan, and he was a dreamer because he came to this country illegally at 4 years old. Went and shot up. This guy was basically he was a racist. He was a black supremacist, and he went and shot and killed. He killed one and he wounded 7 at a Tennessee church. And how come I didn't Facebook? How come we didn't see Pray for Tennessee?
You know, that's another problem. It's like I was on Facebook on Sunday, and I heard about it on the radio. Believe it or not, I was doing one of those local band scans on the radio.
I didn't see the story on my. I saw mention the story on my Facebook newsfeed for like a couple hours. On Twitter, nothing. It wasn't trending. But see, my point is, you see how the news, the narrative is controlled.
That's what bothers me. Yeah, it's like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the agenda. You understand? You can't have a black immigrant shooting up a white church. That would prove Trump right. That we need to enforce immigration laws. And it's not true that white people are killing black people. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. But go ahead, Andrew. Go continue the story.
Well, I might as well.
You left off that this guy falsely claimed that Obama was gay and a radical Muslim.
Yes, and it even claimed that Horner was quoted in the Washington Post last year saying that he may have helped Donald Trump win the White House last year.
Yeah, everybody helped Donald Trump win the White House. The Russians first. It was the Russians. This guy with the fake names,
Anthony Weiner.
Everybody helped. Meanwhile, last year, all I heard for 12 months was the news constantly, 24/7, bashing Trump. The liberal social justice warrior talk show host at night bashing Trump 24/7. But everybody helped. Everybody helped Trump. Right. Okay. Listen, do you know what? You know why that is? You know what? It hit me and it hit me last week. Hillary must have paid off everybody and everything. They probably rigged the election everywhere, all over the United States. They probably rigged the election, and they still lost. That's why they can't understand what happened.
And they're in their own dream world just because they have their safe space. And the problem is they didn't want to hear the truth. They're afraid that words are going to hurt them. And those words, honestly, came from WikiLeaks, and they didn't want to hear it.
Listen, that's like you have a finals. You have to take a final exam, and you do everything you can to cheat. You have notes. You pay. You have.
But again, I just want to say this: I still thought Hillary Clinton was going to be president.
Yeah. Well, because the news, you knew that it was so it was so rigged, it was so biased against Trump and for her. Even your buddy Chris Cuomo from CNN admitted admitted that, hey, we've done everything we can to help her. That's for sure. So that's like what I was saying. That's like you have a final exam. You did everything possible you can to cheat and make sure you're going to pass the test. You have notes. You have classmates sitting next to you that are going to help you with answers. You even have answers from the test before you even take the test. And then somehow when you get the test, you failed. And you're like, what happened? How could that be? You start blaming everybody and everything. But that's what happened with Hillary. The Democrats rigged the election. They paid everybody off. And yet they still lost, because that shows you that had it been a fair election, she would have lost. It would have been a landslide victory for Trump.
Absolutely. No question.
That's how much of a landslide it was. That even with all the bribery and the corruption and the rigging, she still lost.
All right. So to end the show, we have to talk about Anthony Weiner, because if I don't, I'm going to go crazy.
Okay,
here we go.
Yeah. Go ahead. Move to him, because that's funny.
All right. So my former congressman from it's redistricted. I'm not even going to talk about the numbers. So my former congressman, Anthony Weiner, the saga continued today when federal prosecutors revealed dastardly details about a sexting scandal with a 15-year-old girl who came out on an interview
Wait,
on Inside Edition last week.
What's his online handle? What's his name?
I forget the name right now, actually.
Oh, Captain something. I forgot.
Carlos Danger.
Carlos Danger.
That's the one. Bye, pervert.
Oh my God, that's his porn name. That's his porn name, Carlos Danger.
In court papers filed before his sentencing on Monday, prosecutors claim the former congressman took part in 3 online video calls during which he convinced a young girl to strip and fondle herself while he watched.
Wow. That's crazy.
This is what the New York Post said.
No, that's what happened. No, that's not what the New York Post said. That's what the court said. The Post is just reporting what the court said.
Okay, during the latter 2 Skype sessions on February 18th and 23rd in 2016, and in a Snapchat communication
he was like, "Hi, this is Carlos Danger. You want to Skype?"
The defendant used graphic and obscene language to ask the minor victim to display herself naked and touch herself, which he did. All that happened after the teenager made clear that she wasn't just a minor, she was in fact only 15 years old.
Oh.
But that did not stop him.
Yeah, you would think this. Even if you do that, you would think if you listen. If you ever go online dating and you see somebody's picture, they look kind of young. You know the normal thing would ask is like, "Are you 18?" And if you're not sure, like you move on. And if you talk to somebody, I think you could kind of know right away if they're young. But anyway,
honestly, all I'm gonna say is Anthony Weiner's going to prison, and thank goodness.
Well, yeah, whatever. He's an idiot. But anyway, we're out of time. Good show, Andrew. I'm glad we got the Skype situation under control. You didn't have any technical difficulties. Where could they follow you?
Andy's Randomness, Twitter and Instagram. Andrew Sports Fan, Snapchat.
Yes, and you could also check out his. Who's that hobo?
Check out my Hater Hobo video on YouTube. Yes. Andy's Randomness.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock live. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.
Stop the hammering. Who's hammering? Who's in my ear? Stop the goddamn hammering.